I just finished my reading for today. Today's chapter was to love others, and I feel like the greatest example of love that we have is what Jesus truly did on the cross, and what God allowed to happen with Jesus. And I feel like love is truly just a sacrifice of yourself for the betterment of others. And through my reading, the verse that it really brought to my attention was 1 Corinthians 13, chapter 13, verse 4. And it says, "Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up." Now, I'm not sure what version this is in, but there's a lot of verses, this verse being repeated in multiple ways. But ultimately, I feel like the most important thing is that love suffers. And, although it suffers, it does not allow it to be changed. It still remains kind. It doesn't envy. It doesn't parade itself. I know in other verses, it's I think it says, it doesn't get angry. It isn't jealous. I feel like that's a true example. Up on that cross, Jesus didn't allow that to turn him bad or evil or look away, but he truly allowed his love for us to remain true. And I feel like that's something we have to learn to take in. And it also followed it by saying, "May the Lord make you increase and abound in love to one another and to all," in 1 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 12. And I feel like once we learn to love how Jesus loved, that's how love will increase, not only in us, but in others. And we already have received that love from Jesus by him dying. And I feel like once we learn how to take that in, we can learn how to give it out. And loving and caring for one another is truly what Jesus wants us to do. And to be able to lay our life down, by our life, I mean our will, what we want done for the betterment of others, just as Jesus did, we can truly begin to live together and love one another wholly, together. And it talks about that in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. And it says, "Finally, all of you be one mind, having compassion for one another, love as brothers, be tenderhearted, be courteous." And I feel like that's just the true goal. And for us, we're supposed to live like Jesus. He's the ultimate example for us. And it gave me a verse on that too. And I'm going to try and find it for you real quick. It gave me a couple today. Oh yeah, it's in 1 John 3:16. And it says, "By this we know love, because he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren." And that's just basically showing us how he loved us and how we're meant to love each other, is by just giving our life to Jesus, by laying down our desires, our wants, our needs for others. Truly denying ourselves and accepting Jesus and loving God to then love others creates this atmosphere and this kind of back in I think it was 4 years ago, about how he intends to make a family, and that family will then make a nation. It's just truly just loving others and denying yourself to do that. And that's really, it's another thing. It says in I think it's 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 22. No, it's not that one. It's I have to find it. Oh yeah, it's in Colossians chapter 3, verse 14. My fault. It just gave me a lot of verses. And it says, "But above all these things, put on love, which is the bond of perfection." And I feel like that bond eventually creates a relationship, and what better relationship to have than the love of Jesus, and also outputting that love. So it will like reciprocate in you. Like as you begin to allow Jesus to love you, you could then love others as Jesus intended. And like that like will like backtrack and bring others to Jesus. Like, you see what I mean? Like, it's what he does in you that comes from you that allows that to be seen and bring others back to him. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so yeah, I hope you have a good day. Yeah.